And this accountant looked at my business plan and was like, no one's going to buy a cup of tea for £3. Like, this is not going to work. You're going to fail. So in the first 6 months of running my company, at the end of the month, there'll sometimes be £30 left in my bank account. So I think what helped me push through that, yes, maybe at this stage, it's not this super hit product, but one day it's going to hit the market and it's going to be a huge success. Right now, I manage over 500 people within the company. So it is, just a skill that I think I brought on from my earlier years to what I'm doing today. Just keep going. I think there were so many times where I doubted myself or thought that, why am I still doing this?
"10 years ago, if someone mentioned bubble tea, most of us would have looked confused. In this episode, we are joined by an entrepreneur who turned a simple love for bubble tea into one of the fastest growing beverage brands. Suneet Sachdeva is the founder of Bubble CiTea, a company that started with a single store at the age of 18 and has now expanded to dozens of locations nationwide. From nearly selling his own company to navigating rapid growth and building a brand that blends creativity with cultural authenticity, Suneet's journey is nothing short of inspiring. Please give a big Performing in Life welcome to Suneet.
Hi guys.
It's okay. How are you doing? You okay?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Welcome. Thank you very much
you
for
so much.
taking the time to come along to our office today. What's a typical day look like for you? What have you been doing today, or what would you normally be doing in the office before you come and do something like this?
I would usually be in the office before everyone else at 9
Okay.
o'clock, or before 9. But my day starts around 5:30. So I will wake up at 5:30. I will go to work out. I'm a really big runner, so
Are you?
I would run and end up going to the office. Probably get there before 5 to 9, 10 to 9-ish, and meetings after meetings. This morning I actually didn't go into the office. Today I had the whole day booked out for you guys. So yeah, thank you again for having
But did you
me.
still go for a run?
I actually did not work out today.
Like a full
Tuesday is
day
my
off.
rest day.
Oh,
Tuesday is my
really?
rest day, so it kind of worked out. Yeah.
Look at how
so,
that worked out. When you say you
yeah.
run, do you run outdoors or
Yes,
Oh, do you?
inside and outside.
Okay.
I actually did a half marathon earlier this year,
Yeah.
which was actually the Surrey Marathon in Woking.
Oh, really?
So I did the Surrey Marathon, half marathon this year,
Yeah.
and next year I'm doing the London half. So the London landmark half marathon next year. So I'm training for that.
And
right
when
now.
you do that, is that for a cause or a purpose, or is that just something you like to do for yourself?
The Surrey one I did for myself because I actually have gone through like a little bit of a weight loss journey.
Okay.
So I lost around 40 kg in like a year.
Okay.
So as part of that journey, I got into running and got obsessed with it, and thought I needed to prove that I was gonna do something useful with it.
Yeah.
And then I ran a marathon, half marathon, and this time it's I'm working with NSPCC.
Okay.
So I'm raising money for NSPCC, and my goal is to raise £300 as a minimum. And I think this time is more about the cause rather than doing something for myself personally.
And is
So
that a personal commitment that you're making to the NSPCC, or is it on behalf of your business?
it's me personally, and I think I don't know. I think it's just for the last one I didn't aim to really raise funds for charity or something like that. But this time I really want to give back a little bit more. So
Okay.
so yeah.
Nice. So Bubble CiTea.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. So the largest bubble tea company in Europe.
Yes.
That is a pretty big deal. How does that feel when you sit there and you kind of go, I own the largest bubble tea company in Europe?
Just a small correction there. Actually, we
Go
are
on.
not the largest bubble tea chain in Europe, but the largest wholly owned. So
I see.
So we there's a different models for
detail
businesses.
in wholly owning a business as opposed to like a franchise business or something like that. Right? Okay, got you.
So we're the largest wholly owned bubble tea chain in Europe.
Yeah.
And I mean, I started it whenever I was 18, and I started it from a very small kiosk, and we had a very big idea or big dream. And my brand is called Bubble CiTea, and my goal at that point was to bring bubble tea to every city in the UK. And we're kind of on the way there right now. So our most northern location is Aberdeen, most southern is Plymouth, and we have stores all across the country. So Glasgow, Leeds, Leicester, Sheffield, London, Newcastle, up and down the country, all the way across. So yeah, we still have some way to go, but I'm happy to see that my dream from all those years ago is somewhat being realized right now.
Yeah. So you started when you were 18.
Yes.
18 years old. And how certain were you at the time about creating the business in terms of how confident did you feel that it was going to take off?
I think at the time it was a scary time because I didn't know if it was going to be successful. But I kind of was thrown into the deep end, as in I kind of had no choice but to make it work. So I had borrowed money to help start my first store from my dad, who didn't have money himself. He had borrowed money from my cousin, my uncle, to start my first location. And I just had no choice but to make it work. I was really thrown into the deep end. And even every year afterwards, it was a very difficult time because people were telling me like, oh, you will earn more money if you were doing something else, or like there was this kind of confidence that people didn't have with me in the early years when bubble tea wasn't a huge thing. And we really just kind of pioneered. I had this dream and this sense that I want to pioneer the way of the industry within the UK. And I had this goal of bringing bubble tea to every city in the UK. And I just kind of stuck on that. And no matter what other external factors were affecting that.
Was there anybody that you looked up to, or somebody that gave you the confidence to do it? Or was it something that was just completely driven by yourself?
I think the one person that always believed in me was my dad. And I don't know where he got the confidence from, to be honest, because lending an 18-year-old that kind of money and saying, don't go to uni, do this instead, is, I think, very brave from his part. Like, I'm not sure about his thought process, to be honest, but he always is and was someone that I would go to for advice for everything, even to today. So if I ever have questions, or if I ever have concerns about something, I would pick up the phone and give him a call. And he's really been like that anchor all the way along my journey that has helped me, even though he hasn't got a lot of experience himself. But just being able to bounce ideas off someone that I know will give me such an impartial opinion, or opinion that will help direct me in the right way is so important, I think. Yeah. Even
when you said it was bubble tea that you wanted to do, what was his initial reaction to that? Because I can understand if you went to parents and say, hey, I want to set up this business, I've got this really great idea and it is going to hit X in terms of something that you know there's definitely a mass market for and things like that. You're taking a chance with bubble tea, right? It didn't really have a presence in the UK at that time. What was his reaction to that being the product that you wanted to put out there?
I remember, like, way back in the early days, before he lent me any money, he took me to an accountant, like a random accountant. And this accountant sat me down on the table, saw my business plan. I had made a business plan and like explained that this is what I want to do. And this accountant looked at my business plan and was like, no one's going to buy a cup of tea for £3. Like, this is not going to work. You're going to fail. This is the exact words that he said to me. So he said, like, there's no one's going to buy this and you're going to end up throwing your money away. So you should just go to university instead. And that's what this accountant said to me. And my dad was sitting next to me. But I don't know why my dad was like still pushing for me.
Let's do it anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it worked out. So, yeah.
Good. Is there anything that, thinking about the age that you were 18 years old, right?
Yes.
And you were putting everything into this business and trying to make it work. Looking back now, that first of all was a really young age to start doing something so ambitious. But at a time when everybody else is doing university, going out and having a good time and all the rest of it. Did you feel at that time, or do you ever look back now and think, oh, I missed out on just being young?
I do, a little bit. I remember, like, I used to be working in store. I used to live in Staines, and I used to travel into Guildford every day, which is around 2 hours on the train each way. And at that time, I never had a stock room in the shopping center because I couldn't afford to keep one. So I would carry stock from my parents' garage every day, like bubbles on the train.
Oh, wow.
To the store every day.
Yeah.
And I remember on a Friday night or a Saturday night, I would have worked a really hectic shift in store. It's very busy. And if you know Guildford very well, you have to go past the clubbing street from the shopping center to go to the train station. You have to go past all the clubs. And I would see people that I went to school with that will be out clubbing, and I would have just finished a shift and I would be getting ready to go home 2 hours to get like 6 hours sleep and come back for 2 hours in the morning the next day. And I remember walking past them and being like, oh my God, why is my life like this, you know? And they're getting to have this great experience and loving life and having lots of fun. I definitely feel like when I was 18, 19, 20, maybe I missed out on that time. However, I did get to have a little bit of a unique experience when I went to China. So I went to China to learn how to speak Mandarin. And when I was out there, I was basically a student. So I got to have like a 6-month period of living what a student life would be.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was my little stint of...
Yeah. How old were you at that point?
Like 21.
Okay.
21. So a little bit older, but still like I got to have a fun, unique experience, I think. Yeah.
So what was happening with Bubble Tea at that point while you were over in China? Were you still able to sort of like keep control of things from afar?
So I had a store manager, and he was like, I was communicating every day with them, and I was there for half a year, so not too much of a long period of time. But the real reason why I went out there was because I like a lot of our suppliers they speak Mandarin as their first language. And because we import all of our items from Taiwan or from China, so I wasn't getting a good price when I was buying things in the UK. And I went out there, learned how to speak the language, came back, and then instantly got like very good prices for the goods that I was buying. So it paid off as well. Like that was my goal for learning how to speak the language, basically. Yeah.
And what was the determination around that time? So if you think about the first few years, what was it that made you just want to crack on and keep going? Especially when you're walking home at night, carrying stock or seeing people out clubbing, or do you know what I mean? Or you're going home and knowing you've got a few hours sleep and then you're up again to come in and do it all again the next day. What was your motivation behind it to keep going?
I think you have to love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, you can't put your 100% in it. And from the first time I tried bubble tea to today, I love the product so much. And I love customer service. I love being in store. So I really, at that moment, I really, really honestly, genuinely love what I was doing. And I was making money. Not a lot of money at that time, but definitely enough to keep me happy, I guess. And I think that in those younger years, you are a lot more, I think, okay with going through a little bit of hardship, I guess, for a long-term benefit. Yeah. I had a dream that I was going to build the company more, and I had this dream that it was going to grow more. And I think that was one thing that helped me keep going as well. Yeah.
When did you see the scope in it? When did you sit there and go, do you know what? This can really take off. If I put this amount of energy in and I invest this much, this is going to be big. I'm going to take the leap and I'm going to do it.
Okay. It was kind of like a necessity more than anything, because I had invested money that my dad had borrowed to start, and I had nothing really else going on. I know it sounds really bad, but like this was my whole life. And I didn't want, like, I'm a very determined person, so when I started something, I didn't want to like be known as someone who is a quitter. I don't know, that's really bad because to sound like to say, but I just didn't want to.
Yes, it's like admitting failure, isn't it?
I didn't want to fail, and it was slowly getting better and better. And I think that's what kept me going, was that it was improving day by day, year by year. We were slowly getting some small wins, and those small wins were turning into this really big snowball that when we got our investment in, we were able to really grow very, very fast. So
yeah, because I mean, like I said at the beginning, if you go to 10 years ago, people didn't really know what bubble tea was. It was a very new concept, and was it in China that you discovered, because you'd been going? No, it's Australia, wasn't it? You went traveling
years ago
because you got family in Australia, and that's where the bubble tea idea came to you, because it's very popular over there. Is that right?
Exactly. I mean, I first tried it when I was in Australia. Australia, I think their market is around 2 to 3 years ahead of the UK market. They are, just because of their proximity and the demographic, they're much more influenced by Asian culture. So when I was there, it was actually when I was 16. So just after GCSEs, and I had gone to visit my family there for summer. I tried it for the first time, also not knowing what it was. I ended up coming back to the UK and being obsessed with it during my A-level period. And there was nothing really, anything in London that was the flavor profile that I would like, that I tried in Australia. There were some places in Chinatown that had it in restaurants, or like there was nothing that had like all of the flavors that I had experienced. And essentially, instead of going to uni, I started my company instead. I thought that I could bring this really amazing product to the UK, and that it would be something that, if I loved it so much, that other people would also get on board with. And
it's proven to be popular.
A little bit.
I've got a confession to make. Never tried bubble tea.
That's crazy. I bought a lot with me today.
So
yeah,
you have. You've come and you've supplied for the office, which is really amazing. We've got bubble tea. But maybe towards the end, we'll grab one and I'll give it a go while you're here today.
Sounds good.
Which would be good. What's your favourite flavour of bubble tea?
Oh, it changes. I think it changes with the seasons. It changes over the years. My go-to is our dirty milk tea, which is brown sugar.
What is that?
It's brown sugar on the outside of the cup to make it look really dirty.
Okay.
It's very Instagrammable, okay?
Yeah.
And it's fresh milk with tapioca, which is the original chewy bubbles.
Okay.
But then our most popular is the mango with rainbow bubbles. So rainbow bubbles we have a lot of different flavors of popping bubbles. So mango, strawberry, passion fruit, peach, lychee, and rainbow bubbles is a mix of all of them together. So when you drink, the bubbles come up the straw, so you have the mango flavor of the drink, and then when you bite the bubbles, it explodes with the flavored juice that's inside the bubble, so the flavors mix together in your mouth.
See, that's the bit that freaks me out. It's the exploding in your mouth. Do you know what I mean? Biting into something.
It's a very satisfying feeling. Don't worry, you have to just try it for your first time.
I'll give it a go, but I can't guarantee that. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see later.
You might change it. I might enjoy it. A few hardships came up along the way. There were some difficult moments. So at one point, you had a business up and running, and the business was doing well. But for you, you had £30 in the bank and nothing else to show for it. Surely that's got to show some resilience. Surely you've got to sit there and go, why am I doing all this when I'm getting no return?
Yeah.
How did you change that around?
I think like I mentioned earlier, it was those little wins. That so in the first 6 months of running my company, at the end of the month, there'll sometimes be £30 left in my bank account. And at that time, I was really skinny because I wasn't eating.
Wow.
I was bunking in the train because I couldn't afford to buy the train. Don't condone that behavior, by the way. Hey guys, please don't bunk the train.
It's recorded now. The police will be around tomorrow.
But I couldn't afford to eat. I couldn't afford to grab the train, go on the train. And at that time, we were slowly growing, like our sales were slowly increasing. And I think that that's really what pushed me through, is that there is a future coming in this. It's just a product that hasn't been really recognized in the market. I mean, when I started, people had gone from hating bits in the orange juice to having bubbles come up their straw.
Yeah.
So especially my first site was launched in Guildford, which is, I would say, a little bit more of a conservative area, especially back then, like almost 13 years ago. So people were a little bit skeptical of what the product was. So introducing it was a long process. So those first 2 or 3 years was very hard. I was sampling every single day for 3 years, 2 to 3 years. And just to get people to understand the flavor profile of the product and the drink. And slowly I would see customers coming back. Like the same customers were coming back every week or every few days because they loved what we were doing. And that's, I think, what helped me push through that. Yes, maybe at this stage, it's not this super hit product, but one day it's going to hit the market and it's going to be a huge success at some point. So yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I don't really know, guys. Like at the early stages, I was a little bit delulu in the early years. I think it's just being very young and very naive.
Was it about just keeping going?
I think so. I think also I didn't really think I had many more options that I just had to make it work. And like I really was like trying to swim instead of sinking.
Yeah.
And then keeping it going, and then I also had this dream. It was like a mix of everything together. I don't know how to put it into words, like just like it was a feeling at that time.
Because then the other thing was you actually set up a store here in Woking.
Yes, I did.
Which didn't take off.
Yeah,
in the bit like
it didn't.
People just didn't get it.
Yeah.
And so that closed.
Yes.
And something that, you know, still happens to this day. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. You know, you open a store in one town and it absolutely booms and takes off. And then another town, it just doesn't work for some reason.
Yeah.
How does that feel when you have to close a store?
I mean, when just to go back to Woking, I opened it when in my second year of trading. So I was still very young, very, very, I think, naive. And I saw that a lot of our customers were traveling in from Woking to come to Guildford. And I thought that opening there would be a good option for us. And I think at that time, I just didn't understand how to scale a business, because it's very good and well operating one site. But going from 1 to 2 is a completely different mindset. From 2 to 5 is a completely different mindset. And even now, as we scaled, like I have to change our whole business model. Every 5 to 10 stores, we have to change our whole structure. There's so much that we need to do to manage the growth in a sustainable way. And at that time, I really wasn't aware of that. In terms of opening or closing a site, it's very sad. It's very sad. Right now, we have a lot of locations across the country, and we opened in a very fast period of time. Sometimes we were opening more than 13, 14 locations a year. So that's more than 1 location a month. And we, with that, there were mistakes made along the way. And right now we are in the process of closing some locations just to help manage our growth. Some sites have been losing a lot of money because we signed very expensive leases, and in locations that have very, very high competition where we really struggle to compete in. And it's all been a learning experience. But you know, I open every site myself.
Okay.
And I'm very involved in the process, from the time we sign with the landlords to the design of the site to the training. I don't do the training personally myself or the HR recruitment, but I will meet the teams whenever we go into stores and we do like a launch event. I'm usually behind the counter working with the teams for the launch event. And so it's a very personal process for me to open even 1 location. Like nobody understands the blood, sweat and tears that goes into launching just 1 site. People see on my LinkedIn or my Instagram that, oh, it's like all sunshines, lollipops, roses and lullabies, right? But they don't understand like the blood, sweat and tears that go into launching just 1 location. And then having to take the decision to close a site is even more tough for me, because I've put my all into to launching this. I mean, they're all basically my babies, you know. And I know if I haven't met every single one of my store managers, I've at least spoken to them once or twice, or I speak to them in one way, shape or form. So I have a very personal connection to all of our locations across the country, and to make that decision is a hard one. It's a hard one, but sometimes you need to make tough decisions in business for the betterment of the company, rather than having something that will keep you bleeding for a long period of time, which will ultimately maybe lead to the collapse of the business, you know. So sometimes you need to be
tough decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then there must become the emotional side to that as well, because not only are you closing a store, but that's essentially then somebody then not having a job anymore.
Exactly.
Or, you know, so it must be a massive weight to make that decision.
It's really tough. It's really, really tough. But yeah, like I mentioned, in business, sometimes you have to think about the wider picture rather than the micro details, rather than the macro details, you know. So yeah.
Tricky. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go to the prop basket. So every guest, we ask them to bring in a prop to put in the prop basket, and then we have a little conversation about it. So what have you brought in with you today?
Okay, so I brought in my yearbook today, guys. This is my yearbook from when I graduated in 2011.
Okay.
And I brought this with me today because I wanted to explain about what I was voted as. Because in my yearbook, we were everyone in my year, we had around 350 kids in my school year, and we all voted for different categories.
So how old were you with this one? Was this when you left school, when you were 16?
So this was when I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was in 2011. It was really a formative years in my life. And I think, yeah, we just got vote. We were able to vote for different categories, like who had the best hair or this kind of factors. And I actually got voted for 2 categories, which was fun. My first nomination was that I got voted for, I won to most likely to be a superhero, which is interesting. I can kind of see that
I
right
love
now.
that. Saving the day, one bubble tea at a time.
Exactly. But then I also was voted as most likely to win Big Brother, which is interesting. Which is an interesting category. I think I was a little bit shocked by that at the time. Like, why did I win that? What does that mean?
Yeah.
But I think that it kind of just showed that I was a little bit of a social butterfly, and that I was able to get on very well with a lot of different people. And I think that's kind of something that's helped me in my life today, is that there's a lot of different personalities in this world, and there's a lot of different hats you need to wear to kind of bring people together. And right now I manage over 500 people within the company. So it is, just a skill that I think I've brought on from my earlier years to what I'm doing today. So
would you ever do Big Brother?
Yes, I probably would.
Would you?
If you want to reach out to me, guys, feel free to reach out. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't thought too much about it, but do you think I would do good on it?
I think you'd do well on Big Brother.
Okay.
I think most people would. I think the only thing that I say with Big Brother is I think you've got to go into it with the attitude of you've got nothing to lose. Yeah. I think it's that. Do you know what I mean? I think it's become less about a social experiment, which is what it was in the first place, to very quickly becoming such a hyper reality TV that it became that new age of reality TV that we all know. Yeah.
No, I want to do it for the experience. I feel like dressing up in those weird outfits and doing those challenges, and I feel that would be so fun. And meeting new people. I love meeting new people. So I think that's, that will be, it might be a fun experience. Guys, reach out to me.
Brilliant. So, well, thank you very much for sharing that. And that's a really interesting take, actually, to think that something that sits with you is how people perceived you back then at school, and how you've wanted to carry that forward. It must have been an important message.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice one. So one thing, running a business, another one, managing people. You said there's 500 people that you basically look after, whether it's directly or indirectly. You're responsible for all of them because they're in your company. What's your management style?
I would say that it's changed over the years, and it's developed, like I mentioned, like when you go from 1 store to 2 store, 2 store to 5 store, my whole mindset changed. I initially was definitely like a huge micromanager because I'm a perfectionist. Like,
I suppose that's normal though, when it's something that you've created, you've started it right from the bottom. Then I'm guessing you want to keep hold of every single ounce of it, don't you?
Exactly, and I think that because I made the whole system from start to finish for Bubble CiTea. So if I'm going to stores, I expect it to be done the same way that it was all those years ago. Yeah. And I used to be very, very specific about every little detail. And I think that's what made us very successful. But I think I learned that being so granular with this every single point is not good motivation for teams. So in the past few years, I've started to loosen up in terms of being so focused on the tiny details, but think more of the bigger picture. So I feel like my teams have, right now we're in a whole stage of empowerment for our teams. So our teams are given so much more responsibility, and they're able to think on their own and have their ideas come to life, or how to make the company better.
So they have some autonomy within what's going on.
Exactly. So I think it's changed over the years for sure in terms of my management style. And I think it will not stop changing. I think as time goes on, maybe, I don't know if, I'm not sure how much it will change in the next year or so, or the next few years, but I hope it will change for the better.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And what role do you play now? So, a CEO, owner, like how does that sit? Because obviously, when you've gone from, like you said earlier, you go from one store, 2 stores, and you've got 5 stores, then you're growing. You've obviously got to step back because you can't do everything, and you're not going to be an expert in everything. So you've got to bring in the right people to do those jobs, right? So what is your position right now within your company?
So I'm CEO and founder.
Yeah.
And I head up some departments within the business. So the operations team sits underneath my jurisdiction. Marketing team, training, and installation and maintenance also sits partly underneath me. And then under my CFO, COO, they all have different
divisions.
Yes. And so then underneath us will be at the heads of department, and then underneath them the deputies, and then so that's how our organization structure looks like right now.
How hard was it to let go?
So hard. It's so hard. But it was easier to let go of things that I wasn't very good at.
Yeah.
So
I
like
can imagine.
things such as I wouldn't say I'm bad at IT, but I'm not like a pro at IT. So letting go of things like IT, I was like, please take it.
Yeah.
But things like operations, I'm still very, very much on the nose with, or training, for example. So but yeah, work very closely with my teams, and they work very, very hard. So I feel like very lucky and blessed to have such amazing people working around me to help us grow Bubble CiTea to the next level.
That's good. For me, it'd be anything to do with the numbers. Somebody else take it. I can't.
Numbers is not my thing too.
It's just too confusing, all of it. So with the pandemic, that would have come in and probably sideswiped you, right? You probably thought, Ray, we're making some momentum. I've got a few stores open. Good, we're going. And then suddenly, boom, everything locked down. Yeah. How did the pandemic affect your business? But also, how did it affect your management style?
It was crazy. Like, I think for retail in general, it was a very difficult time. We had just opened, I think we had around 6 or 7 stores, maybe 8 stores before the pandemic hit. And we were in our stage of rapid growth. So we had gotten investment, and we had placed orders for all of our items, like for our fit outs. We had signed contracts with landlords, and we were getting ready to launch like at least 1 store a month following the pandemic. And no, during the pandemic time. And then the pandemic happened. We had to close all of our stores because the shopping centers they had restrictions in place. They weren't open, and we had to furlough all our teams. And it was a very scary time. We didn't know what was around the corner, what was going to happen. But actually we came out of it after the pandemic in a very good way, because during that time, a lot of retailers pulled out of shopping centers, and this kind of opened up spaces for us to occupy very prime retail locations for very good prices at that moment in the UK market. So we were able to secure great locations and open quickly, because we had a bunch of items that we had ordered that we weren't able to fit out into stores. So we were able to occupy very high profile locations in a very short space of time. And in terms of my management style during that time, I think it was a scary time. I think we had to manage everything from remotely. Right now, even today, we have our head office, and teams are not forced to come into the office. After COVID, I've never forced teams to come to work every single day, but mostly the teams are in the office like maybe three days per week. So I had to learn how to manage from a remote location. That was something that was difficult at that time.
How does that benefit your team now? Do you think that lends itself much better to a good morale within the workplace?
Yeah, for sure. I think that if people are in one place, our business is a very agile, fast-moving business. So it's based on connections with people and making decisions quickly to adapt to the market. So right now, if people are in the office, they can make decisions very quickly. They're just opposite each other on their desk, and they're like, oh, I need this. Okay, boom, it's done. Otherwise, you need to message them or drop them an email or arrange a Zoom call or something, and it's
Yeah.
it's not super efficient. And I think when you see someone in person, you're able to connect at a better level as well. So it's really helped the relationships within the business and helped communication within the departments be so much better as well.
Yeah, good. I think a lot of businesses, I think a lot of employees for big businesses will say that since the pandemic, it feels like work has become a kinder place. It's not so driven about this is the way that we've always done things. You will be here and you'll be sat behind your desk from 9 till 5. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot more flexibility that's come in, which I think people are a lot happier with. I think people have a better feeling about their workplaces.
I think also we need to understand every person is different too.
Yeah.
So some people love being around people and some people don't. So, and we're flexible in that sense. It's like if you're really uncomfortable being around people all the time, I'm not going to make you come to office every day. That's just not, because it's going to make you less productive and unhappier in the workplace. And that's not what I want.
You want them to thrive, right?
Exactly. I want you to be the best in your career that you can be. And I'm here to support that from every step of the way. So yeah, it's interesting. Again, like 500 different personalities you have to work with and just being able to manage that hat, like you need to be straight with some people and a little bit more looser with others, just because some people are more sensitive and take that direction in different ways, so sorry, I feel like I'm
no, that's good. And I mean, what do you find is your biggest challenge when it comes to running your company? Is it people? Do you find it difficult managing different personality types and stuff like that?
I think in the early years, my main difficulty was I need to sell more bubble tea. That was my main difficulty, my main goal. But now it's kind of shifted. Like now I need to manage people who sell that bubble tea, and that's the most difficult part because people are very different. If you like, all of our stores range from up and down the country, and we have, last time I checked, something like 48 different nationalities that work within the company.
Oh wow.
So people that are from different cultures, different backgrounds, and speak different languages. So all of these barriers of communication within different people or different parts of the business, we need to learn how to break down, because that's the biggest flaw in larger businesses, is that those barriers of communication create walls, and that's when decisions can't be made and
high team turnover. If people don't feel appreciated. So the fact that you guys are doing so much about communication, I think that's really important.
It's very, very important to us as a business.
Franchising.
Yes.
So you're moving in that direction.
Yes.
I'm guessing this is because Bubble CiTea has become huge, and the only real possible way to sort of manage it going forward is to go down the franchise road. How easy was it to make that decision?
It was actually very difficult. For many years, I always said that I'm not the biggest fan of franchising. And I've seen my friends who have F&B businesses, smaller businesses, franchise their brand. And they did it when they were much younger and not as established as we are. And the franchisees kind of took their brand into the wrong direction. And I kind of was scarred by seeing their story. And I was saying no to franchising for many, many years. And mind you, we were getting 20, some days 50 franchise requests on a daily basis, requesting to franchise our brand. And right now, I think that we're at a position where our systems are all in place and we've kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of marketing, and we're ready to have others be trusted with carrying on the torch of the brand name as well. So that's where it really comes from, and we want to grow at a faster rate as well. So I feel like franchising will help assist us with this more rapid growth over the next few years too.
And so have you got a franchise store yet?
We have a licensed store,
Okay.
but our first franchise store is going to open before the end of the year.
Oh, cool.
And then we have a couple more coming on at the start of next year. So a lot of exciting times happening ahead. So,
and where's the first one?
oh, I can't
You're not allowed to
tell
say
you
anything
just
just yet. Oh, okay, fine.
I'm under NDA for that right now. So
Okay, fine then.
It's coming very soon. You'll see on my LinkedIn probably in the next few weeks or so.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So yeah,
Exciting.
exciting.
So you're feeling
times.
more excited about it now than what you have been?
Yes, I mean in the early years, I definitely was against it, but in the last year or so, I mean the franchisees that have come on, it's not been a short process. So so one of them, the first one is we've been talking to for more than a year. So it's not been an easy process. It's not been a short process. So it was very important to me that our franchisees are the right people. And that they're the ones essentially that are going to be waving the flag of Bubble CiTea across the country on our behalf. So if they are not experienced in franchising, or if they've never run an F&B business, never worked in the F&B industry before, it just didn't meet the criteria of who I would expect would make it a success. Because the last thing I want to do is franchise our brand out and for them to like fail at their location.
Not do it justice.
Exactly. So my goal is long term. So I want the brand to be here in the next 10 years, 20 years time, and I want the franchisees to be proud of what they're doing and not be regretting it in a few years time.
They've got to share your passion, right?
Exactly.
That's super important. Exciting that you've been invited to deliver a TED Talk.
Yes.
Now that is like quite a big thing, and that's clearly they've honed into your success, what you've achieved from a young age in such a short space of time, in how you've scaled your business. I mean, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Ken Robinson, huge people, huge names who've done these TED Talks. How does that feel that you're being given that potential opportunity?
I'm a little bit nervous about it. I'm not going to lie to you, but having my name to be on the same register as Elon Musk, for example, is crazy. I would never have thought when I was starting my company when I was 18 that I would ever be invited for such a thing. And it feels, a little bit scary because I haven't done so much public speaking. I mean, I speak to my teams to like 20 people or 30 people at a time, but this is like going to be recorded and people are going to be able to watch this back, So I'm really cautious about delivering the right message out to people. And I think, I mean, the TED team are really great, and they have set me up with like an advisor, and they're assisting with preparations for the talk.
Because am I right in saying you have to know it off by heart?
Yes.
You're not allowed to be prompted or anything like that. You have to know it, don't you?
Yes.
Wow.
So and it's like a 15 minute to 20 minutes. So, and I've never done that kind of public speaking before. I mean I've spoken to groups of people, but off the cuff or with like a presentation behind me. So not really like memorized something that is, I think, a lot more detailed than I would usually talk about, or maybe a lot more intellectual as well.
Right, so we are going to look at some pre-recorded questions. So we've got, excuse me, we've got some questions from Stagecoach or Drama Kids students that have been pre-recorded that we're going to play to you, and then you can answer those for us as well. So Laura is going to hand you...
Okay. Oh my God, this is so cute.
Hi, my name is Marianne. I'm 16 years old, and I would like to know why teamwork is important in business like it is in theatre.
Why teamwork is important
in business like it is in theatre.
Because we're all like links of one chain that are like together to make something work. And I think if one of the links is broken, then the final outcome won't be there. So everyone needs to basically hold hands and communicate well and work towards a common goal to make something amazing happen. So I think that's why teamwork is really important.
And that's why it's really important to have the right people in the right places.
Exactly.
Fab. If you swipe to the side, there's another one just there for you.
Oh, so cute.
Hi, my name is Maya Edmund and I'm 5 years old. I want to ask a question to a business person, and my question is, if you're a boss who tells you what to do?
If I have a boss that tells me what to do.
So if you're the boss, as a business person, if you're the boss, who tells you what to do?
Oh, my mom. No, our team is very I think, critical of each other.
Yeah.
In the best way, because we have a very open relationship where we can call each other out if things are going wrong.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's what makes it really, that's what makes it work. That's what makes us a real success, because we all have different areas that we are good at. And do I mind being called out or being told what to do? Probably a little bit, but I actually appreciate it, because I think being outside your comfort zone is a really important thing, because that's the place where you're growing the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're not being told sometimes what to do, sometimes your direction can be off as well. So yeah.
Have you ever been told something that you didn't like the sound of, and then actually realised as you've gone a little bit further down the line, you were wrong with what you were going to do?
I would, yes. I'll be the first to admit, yes, it happens. It happens. And I'm not the kind of steamroller kind of leader. That's not my leadership style. I like my teams to give me feedback and be open and honest. Sometimes I do like things my way, but it's not always my way or the highway, you know? And I appreciate when my teams are able to let me know, like, oh, this is not what's right, or if we do this, it's going to be easier. Has it happened that I've made some decisions that I didn't listen to other people and they were right? Yes, for sure. And I think that's all a part of growing up and learning that to take on external advice.
You want to support the LGBTQ plus community, show up authentically. As a business leader, did you ever feel there weren't enough role models who reflected your identity and values when you were growing up?
When I was younger, I didn't really have someone from my specific background from the LGBTQ plus community that was out being a success in the world. Because me, myself, I was born in the UK, but my parents are Indian. So having this mix of these two cultures and then being part of the LGBTQ plus community on top of that was, I think, a very unique upbringing. And one thing that I want to do in the world is kind of tell people who are from a similar background to me that, yes, you can be successful, you can make it work, you can do what you want in your life. Because when I was younger, I didn't really have anyone that was from these three communities that I could look up to at a young age. So I want to say that, yeah, you can do it, guys. You can do it.
What is it for you that how do you want to make your mark in that area?
So we support Pride every year.
Yeah.
We support Pride every year. We do Pride Cups. We actually didn't do Pride Cups this year because some locations, which are a lot more conservative, some customers in those communities didn't purchase our drinks because of our cups, or they refused to buy our drinks with a Pride Cup.
Yeah.
So we didn't do the Pride Cups this year, but we have done them for like the last 3 or 4 years. And we also do like Pride merch every year, and we support a different Pride charity every year as well. So the most recent one was with Stonewall. So we give back to those within the community that need assistance or need more help.
Yeah, I was going to say, for anybody who's listening and who doesn't know Stonewall, explain a little bit about what Stonewall do.
So they work with LGBTQ plus around the country. They're an organization that runs a number of different events. They help support those who are struggling, and they're just a really wonderful organization to work with.
Struggling financially or mental health, or
in all different aspects.
Okay.
Just those from the LGBTQ plus backgrounds.
Okay.
And anyone in general. They're just such welcoming and very nice people. So
cool, good stuff. Going back to when you were 18, knowing what you know now, what would be your biggest bit of advice to yourself?
Just keep going. I think there were so many times where I doubted myself or thought that, why am I still doing this? And those voices in your head will pop up every now and again. But if you have one dream, one goal, just work hard towards it. And if no one else in the room believes in you, at least you believe in yourself. That's one person. And then soon there will be one more person and then another person that also believes in you, and you will end up reaching your goal.
So your curtain call then. So if you were to talk about something you're proud of that you wish that more people knew about, or something you'd want to be known for?
That was a curveball. Can I say that my language skills?
Yeah, that's quite cool.
So that I can speak Mandarin fluently.
Yeah.
And I think, again, this is another part of a communication. And I think, guys, if you want to invest in anything out there in your life, invest in learning another language. I think it helps bring people together. So I would suggest, that's something that's really
It was
fun.
also really savvy for you to do that, because you recognise, obviously, the market for the stock that you need is based in China.
It was out of necessity. I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed to get a better price. And I think I just think learning a new language just opens up a different part of your brain. You get to think in a different way, and opens you up to the world in a different light. So
your encore then, a moment from your life that you'd like to revisit, either to relive it or do it differently.
Okay. Oh, another curveball. What would I revisit? I think one of my favorite times was my time in China, actually, because I spent 6 months there, being out of the corporate world, or being out of a working world, and I kind of felt less responsibility and just got to experience student life to its fullest. Would I go there right now in my point of life, the point of life that I'm in now? No, because I think that I've moved on from that stage of my life. But I think at that point, it was a really, really, really amazing time, and I really loved it. Yeah.
And you would just relive it as it was. You wouldn't do it any different.
I mean, I think there were good times, there were bad times, but I think the bad times is what makes you who you are. It's what help you learn and help you grow as a person. So I would relive it exactly as it was, because I feel like it was a great experience. Guys, if you want to go overseas to study, go and study overseas. It's really, really amazing experience. Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. So, well, that nearly brings us to a close. So thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you taking time to come and talk to us. But before you go, we have a gift for you.
Oh my God.
So everybody always gets a gift for coming to Forming
goodness.
Life podcast.
Oh
so
my
you've got your very own framed.
Oh my God, I love
cover.
this. Stop, guys. Look at the hat. Look at that. You got my good side, guys. That's nice. Thank you so much.
What's the picture you sent? So I'm glad we got it right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Do we do a handshake? Do we do a
can
hug?
Do, a golden handshake,
okay.
There you
Thank you.
Like we do in business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, there we go. Got it in one. Okay.
This.
Let's give this a go.
So this is a mango and white peach.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite flavors. So it's like a fusion flavor.
Cool.
So if you go to our store, you order mango with add white peach flavor instead.
Okay. Well, I'm just nervous about the ball thing. I don't know why. That's so silly, isn't it? Well, no, I don't like it. It's like having peas in your mouth without them chewing.
Lift the straw out and just taste the like the tea itself, so you don't have.
Oh, so you don't touch the bubbles.
Yeah.
See if you like that.
The flavour's good. Like when the bubble explodes, it's nice.
Okay.
But it's the texture
You
of the
have
bubble.
to get used to it. You have to get used to it. You need to.
You have to drink the whole cup.
Yeah.
Crikey.
On camera.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. One sec.